Hello friends, how is everyone today? We're going to be talking about my predictions that I made for NVIDIA and the ones that I made for Solana. So, for the SP500. I will also be showing you very briefly my predictions for my crypto predictions, cryptocurrencies. We're talking Bitcoin and Solana, the ones that I cover in my crypto channel. You can check them out in my other channel if you want. But it's very interesting because we're seeing some developments that are very opposite to each other. For example, we're going to see that traditional stocks, specifically my NVIDIA and the SP500 index, they are both, as of today, very solidly on the green. Uptrends, massive uptrends, actually consecutive uptrends for both of them. We have, for example, I published the chart like some days ago. I told you that we will see an impulse either on the 2nd or the 3rd of October. We actually got the best case scenario, which is consecutive greens for both of these 2 days. Just like I predicted, guys, just like I told you that this will happen. It's a very nice start, a very nice opening for the month. Very solid, I might add. We're going to see maybe some kind of range tomorrow on the 4th. In fact, we're already kind of starting to see that kind of trend develop especially most of the day of today, the 3rd of October. The big impulse is actually in the first hour with this massive green candle right here. But the rest of the day is kind of a range. It closes on a similar position to the maximum peak of this green candle, the initial one, at least when it comes to this chart on the 30-minute timeline. But it's very interesting that we're seeing this. And before I show you the SP500, I want to also invite you to share, like, and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing this information and so you guys don't miss it, because this is very crucial, this is very vital, very important information. Okay, so the SP500, like I was saying, on this day, 2nd of October, it's an uptrend. Of course, you can see that the price closes much higher than it opens. It recovers from the dip that after hours, and very interesting. Now, for the SP500 today was not really a green. It's technically a green because it closes above of where it opened, but it's not very decisively upwards. It's not really as powerful as we just saw with NVIDIA. That was also taken into account because I told you guys that for the SP500 specifically, we were going to see that the 3rd and tomorrow, which is the 4th of October, we're going to see yellow days, both of them consecutive yellow days. And that's exactly in line with the prediction right here. Even though, like I was saying, it closed slightly higher, it's still basically a perfect range. You can see that the closing, it's very similar to the opening. We also had massive volatility right here in this specific time frame of the day. We saw these massive green candles and then a single powerful red candle all the way down. So very range day with lots of volatility. It's a mix of the two. That's what we got for the SP500. We're going to see, like I was saying, a similar day tomorrow. It's going to be yellowish for both of them, for both NVIDIA and the SP500. It's going to be kind of a day I think it's going to be mostly dominated by range, mostly range. It could also be very volatile because that's what the yellow circles actually represent. But I think from what we're seeing right now, we're going to see a range tomorrow as well. The next week will be opening kind of yellowish, I think, with a slight chance of a downtrend. It could actually be a red day. It could be maybe very volatile, slightly on the red. Could be on the, like this day, today, where the price closes on a very similar position to the one it opened. Maybe slightly red, slightly downwards, could be. That's the reading that I have for Monday, which is the next week, followed by a possible impulse on the 8th. I think NVIDIA was very similar. Let's just check before I continue. Yeah, it's very similar for NVIDIA. It's actually more decidedly on the red for NVIDIA on Monday. 7 could be also 8. That day, especially for NVIDIA, is going to be very volatile because it's going to be shared by green circle as well. And you guys know that whenever we have opposite circles, opposite energies sharing one single day, that's basically a guaranteed volatile day. Or it could actually disappoint. It could actually be a complete range and nothing burger. But it usually, at least the pattern that I have noticed, is that it's way more volatile. That's the key factor, depending some volatility when we have opposite energies sharing a single day. That's what we have for the next days of the next week. Yellow for tomorrow for both of them, like I was saying. And just want to show you quickly what I was talking about in the beginning. So notice on the traditional stocks we have these days of October uptrend, especially the first two. I mean the last three. I mean, or whatever. I mean 2 and 3 of October. I mean, these days are the ones that are really uptrending, especially on NVIDIA, but also on the SP500. But notice that for cryptocurrencies, it's actually a very bad moment. Maybe we're starting to see that the price is starting to consolidate after the massive, very powerful downtrend that we saw on the 1st of October, and that we also see on the 2nd of October with some volatility, lots of volatility actually. You can see that the price just goes up and down. This is very typical of cryptocurrencies, but nonetheless, it's a very volatile day on that 2nd of October. Now on the 3rd, we have that it corresponds to a green circle right here. So as it stands, it's basically a yellow day. The price is very, very close, very similar, very identical to the initial position. Depends on what happens in the next few hours. If it closes more on the red or more on the green, it could actually be a yellow day by all means. And it could mean that we could see a possible impulse on cryptocurrencies the next day. But that's not very likely, at least for Bitcoin right here, because you can see that the 4th is also yellowish, just like NVIDIA, just like the SP500. So the Friday is going to be very, very yellowish, I think. Very undecided day for most of the stocks and cryptocurrencies that I just talked about. Now, why do I bring cryptocurrencies to this topic, right? Because basically, and someone pointed out in my X account feed, I just saw like a post right there, that someone was pointing out that we were starting to see, or we saw very resilient markets, traditional stocks, but completely opposite picture for cryptocurrencies, at least in the first days of October. Now, you guys know that I have a theory that cryptocurrencies also respond to what traditional stocks and the market overall says. They are not independent or isolated from each other. There's some correlation and some relationships between both of them. But of course, not every time is going to be the exact same. They're not going to behave every single time 100% the exact same. But there's something to it. And I think that, I don't think I can share this information here, but you can see what I said about this, about my outlook for cryptocurrencies in general for the month of October. You can see and watch it in my crypto channel. But maybe for stocks, and just maybe, because this is not confirmed yet, I have not made a very detailed analysis, but we could see that this month could go very different for both cryptocurrencies and for traditional stocks. So yeah, guys, that's all I wanted to share with you. I will see you next time. Again, I will invite you to subscribe, share, and like all of that juicy stuff, and I will see you next time. Take care.